Regina Celi, retare, cinque turis meri cumare, Regina Celi, retare.
Oh, for a muse of fire that would ascend the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act and monarchs to behold the swelling scene. Then should the warlike Harry, like himself, assume the port of Mars, and at his heels, leashed in like hounds, should famine, sword, and fire crouch for employment. But pardon gentles all, the flat, unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France? Or may we cram within this wooden O the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? Oh, pardon, since a crooked figure may attest in little place 1,000,000, and let us, ciphers to this great account, on your imaginary forces work. Suppose within the girdle of these walls are now confined 2 mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder. Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts. Into 1,000 parts divide one man and make imaginary puissance. Think, when we talk of horses, that you see them printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings, carry them here and there, jumping o'er times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass. For the which supply, admit me chorus to this history, who prologue-like your humble patience pray, gently to hear, kindly to judge our play.
My lord, I'll tell you, that self-bill is urged, which in the 11th year of the last king's reign was like, and had indeed against us passed, but that the scambling and unquiet time did push it farther out of question.
But how, my lord, should we resist it now?
It must be thought on. If it pass against us, we lose the better half of our possession, for all the temporal lands which men devout by testament have given to the church. Would they strip from us?
This would drink deep.
'Twould drink the cup and all.
But what prevention?
The king is full of grace and fair regard,
And a true lover of the Holy Church.
the courses of his youth promised it not. The breath no sooner left his father's body, but that his wildness, mortified in him, seemed to die too.
We are blessed in the change.
Hear him but reason in divinity, you would desire the king were made a prelate. Hear him debate of commonwealth affairs, you would say it hath been all in all his study. List his discourse of war, and you shall hear a fearful battle rendered you in music. Turn him to any cause of policy, the Gordian knot of it he will unloose, familiar as his garter, that when he speaks, the air, a chartered libertine, is still, and the mute wonder lurketh in men's ears, to steal his sweet and honeyed sentences.
The strawberry grows underneath the nettle, and wholesome berries thrive and ripen best, neighboured by fruit of baser quality. And so the prince obscured his contemplation under the veil of wildness, which no doubt grew like the summer grass, fastest by night.
It must be so, for miracles are ceased, and therefore we must needs admit the means how things are perfected.
But, my good lord, how now for mitigation of this bill urged by the commons? Doth his majesty incline to it or no?
He seems indifferent, or rather swaying more upon our part than cherishing the exhibitors against us. For I have made an offer to his majesty as touching France, to give a greater sum than ever at one time the clergy yet did to his predecessors part withal.
How did this offer seem received, my lord?
With good acceptance of his majesty, save that there was not time enough to hear, as I perceived his grace would fain have done, the severals and unhidden passages of his true titles to the crown of France, derived from Edward, his great-grandfather.
What was the impediment that broke this off?
The French ambassador upon that instant craved audience. And the hour, I think, is come to give him hearing. Is it 4 o'clock?
It is.
Then go we in to know his embassy.
Where is my gracious Lord of Canterbury?
Not here in presence.
Send for him, good uncle.
Shall we call in the ambassador, my liege?
Not yet, my cousin. We would be resolved before we hear him of some things of weight that task our thoughts concerning us in France.
God and his angels guard your sacred throne and make you long becoming.
Sure, we thank you. My learned lord, we pray you to proceed. Why the law Salic that they have in France, or should not, bar us in our claim? And, God forbid, my dear and faithful lord, that you should fashion, rest, or bow your reading. For God doth know how many, now in health, shall drop their blood in approbation of what your reverence shall incite us to. Therefore, take heed how you impawn our person, how you awake our sleeping sword of war. We charge you in the name of God, take heed, for never two such kingdoms did contend without much fall of blood. We will hear, note, and believe in heart that what you speak is in your conscience, washed as pure as sin with baptism.
Then hear me, gracious sovereign, and you peers that owe yourselves your lives and services to this imperial throne. There is no bar to make against your highness' claim to France, but this which they produce from Pharamond. In terram Salicum mulieres ne succedent. No woman shall succeed in Salic land, which Salic land the French unjustly gloze to be the realm of France, and Pharamond the founder of this law and female bar. Yet their own authors faithfully affirm that the land Salic is in Germany, between the floods of Saale and of Elbe, where Charles the Great, having subdued the Saxons, there left behind and settled certain French, who, holding in disdain the German women for some dishonest manners of their life, established there this law, to wit, no female should be inheritrix in Salic land. Then doth it well appear that Salic law was not devised for the realm of France. Besides, their writers say, King Pepin, which deposed Childeric, did as heir general, being descended of Blithild, which was daughter to King Clothair, make claim and title to the crown of France. Hugh Capet also, who usurped the crown, to find his title with some shows of truth, though in pure truth it was corrupt to naught, conveyed himself as heir to the Lady Lingar, daughter to Charles the Duke of Lorraine, so that, as clear as is the summer's sun, King Pepin's title and Hugh Capet's claim both appear to hold in right and title of the female. So do the kings of France, and to this day. Howbeit they would hold up this Salic law to bar your highness claiming from the female, and rather choose to hide them in a net than amply to embar their crooked titles usurped from you and your progenitors.
May I, with right and conscience, make this claim?
The sin upon my head, dread sovereign. Stand for your own. Unwind your bloody flag. Look back into your mighty ancestors. Go, my dread lord, to your great-grandsire's tomb from whom you claim. Invoke his warlike spirit. And your great-uncle's, Edward the Black Prince, who on the French ground played a tragedy, making defeat on the full power of France, whilst his most mighty father on a hill stood smiling to behold his lion's whelp forage in blood of French nobility.
Awake remembrance of these valiant dead. You are their heir. You sit upon their throne. The blood and courage that renowned them runs in your veins, and my thrice puissant liege is, in the very May-morn of his youth, ripe for exploits and mighty enterprises.
Your brother kings and monarchs of the earth do all expect that you should rouse yourself, as did the former lions of your blood.
They know your grace hath cause, and means and might, so hath your highness. Never king of England had nobles richer and more loyal subjects, whose hearts have left their bodies here in England and lie pavilioned in the field of France.
Oh, let their bodies follow, my dear liege, with blood and sword and fire to win your right. in aid whereof we of the spirituality will raise your highness such a mighty sum as never did the clergy at one time bring into any of your ancestors.
We must not only arm to invade the French, but lay down our proportions to defend against the Scot, who will make road upon us with all advantages.
There's a saying, very old and true, if that you will France win, then with Scotland first begin. For once the eagle, England, being in prey to her unguarded nest, the weasel Scot comes sneaking. And so sucks her princely eggs, playing the mouse in absence of the cat, to attain and havoc more than she can eat.
It follows then the cat must stay at home. Yet that is but a crushed necessity, since we have locks to safeguard necessaries, and pretty traps to catch the petty thieves. While that the armed hand doth fight abroad, the advised head defends itself at home. For government, though high and low, and lower, put into parts, doth keep in one consent, congreeing in a full and natural close, like music.
Therefore doth heaven divide the state of man in diverse functions, setting endeavour in continual motion, to which is fixed as an aim or but obedience. For so work the honey bees, creatures that by a rule in nature teach the act of order to a peopled kingdom. They have a king and officers of sorts, where some, like magistrates, correct at home. Others, like merchants, venture trade abroad. Others, like soldiers armoured in their stings, make boot upon the summer's velvet buds, which pillage they with merry march bring home to the tent royal of their emperor, who, busied in his majesty, surveys the singing masons building roofs of gold, the civil citizens kneading up the honey, the poor mechanic porters crowding in their heavy burdens at his narrow gate, the sad-eyed justice with his surly hum, delivering o'er to executors pale the lazy yawning drone. I this infer, that many things having full reference to one consent may work contrariously. As many arrows lucid several ways come to one mark, as many ways meet in one town, as many fresh streams meet in one salt sea, as many lines close in the dial's centre, so may 1,000 actions once afoot end in one purpose and be all well borne without defeat. Therefore to France, my liege, divide your happy England into 4, whereof take you 1/4 into France, and you withal shall make old Gallia shake. If we, with thrice such powers left at home, cannot defend our own doors from the dog, let us be beaten, and from henceforth lose the name of hardiness and policy.
Call in the messengers sent from the Dauphin. Now are we well resolved, and by God's help and yours, the noble sinews of our power, France being ours, we'll bend it to our oar, or break it all to pieces. Now are we well prepared to hear the pleasure of our fair cousin Dauphin, for we hear your greeting is from him, not from the king.
May it please your majesty to give us leave freely to render what we have in charge, or shall we sparingly show you far off the Dauphin's meaning and our embassy?
We are no tyrant, but a Christian king. Therefore, with frank and with uncurbed plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Thus then, in few, your highness, lately sending into France, did claim some certain dukedoms in the right of your great predecessor, King Edward III. In answer of which claim, the prince, our master, says that you savour too much of your youth, and bids you be advised, there's naught in France that can be with a nimble galliard won. You cannot revel into dukedoms there. He therefore sends you, meter for your spirit, this ton of treasure, and in lieu of this, desires you let the dukedoms that you claim hear no more of you. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle?
Tennis balls, my liege.
We're glad the Dauphin is so pleasant with us. His present and your pains we thank you for. When we have matched our rackets to these balls, we will in France, by God's grace, play a set. Shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. Ptolemy hath made a match with such a wrangler that all the courts of France will be disturbed with chases, and we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them, but tell the Dauphin, I will keep my state, be like a king, and show my sail of greatness when I do rouse me in my throne of France. For that I have laid by my majesty, and plodded like a man for working days. But I will rise there with so full a glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France. Yea, strike the Dauphin blind to look on us, and tell the pleasant prince this mock of his hath turned his balls to gunstones. And his soul shall stand sore charged for the wasteful vengeance that shall fly with them. For many 1,000 widows shall this his mock out of their dear husbands. Mock mothers from their sons. Mock castles down. And some are yet ungotten and unborn that shall have cause to curse the Dauphin's scorn. So get you hence in peace, and tell the Dauphin, his jest will save a bit of shallow wit when thousands weep more than did laugh at it. Convey them with safe conduct. Fare you well.
This was a merry message.
We hope to make the sender blush at it. Therefore, my lords, omit no happy hour that may give furtherance to our expedition, for we have now no thought in us but France.
Now all the youth of England are on fire, and silken dalliance in the wardrobe lies. Now thrive the armourers, and honour's thought reigns solely in the breast of every man. They sell the pasture now to buy the horse, following the mirror of all Christian kings, with winged heels as English Mercuries.
Well met, Corporal Nim.
Good morrow, Lieutenant Bardolph. You too.
What, are Ancient Pistol and you friends yet?
For my part, I care not. I say little, but when time shall serve, there shall be smiles. But that shall be as it may. I dare not fight, but I will wink and hold out mine hand.
Oh.
'Tis a simple one, but what though it will toast cheese? And it will endure cold as another man's sword will. And there's an end.
If faith, now quickly did thee great wrong, for you were troth plight to her.
I must do as I may, things must be as they may. Men may sleep, and they may have their throats about them at that time, and some say knives have edges. Though patience be a tired mare, yet she will plod. There must be conclusion.
I will bestow a breakfast to make you friends, and we'll be all three sworn brothers to France. What a plague should we carry knives to cut our own throats?
Faith, I will live so long as I may, that's the certain of it. And when I cannot live any longer, I'll do as I may. That is my rest. That is the rending view of it.
Good morrow, Ancient Pistol, and his wife. I prithee, Nim, be quiet.
How now, mine horse pistol?
Base take! Call'st thou me host? Now, by this hand, I swear I hold. Oi, no, go. Now, by this hand, I swear, I scorn the term host, nor shall my Nell keep lodgers.
No, by my troth, not long, for we cannot lodge and board a dozen or 14 gentlewomen that live honestly by the prick of their needles. But it be thought we keep a bawdy house straight. Will they
corporal are for nothing here.
Pish! Pish! For thee, Iceland dog, thou prick-eared cur of Iceland.
Good Corporal Nim, show thy valour and put up your sword.
Will you shog off?
Oh,
I would have you solus.
Solus, egregious dog! Oh, viper vile! The solus in thy most marvellous face, the solus in thy teeth, and in thy throat, and in thy hateful lungs, yea, in thy maw, purdy, and, which is worse, within thy nasty mouth. I do retort the solus in thy bowels, for I can take and pistol's cock is up, and flashing fire will follow.
I am not Barberson, you cannot conjure me. I have an humour to knock you indifferently well. If you play foul with me, Pistol, I will scour you with my rapier as I may in fair terms. If you would walk off, I would prick your guts a little in good terms as I may, and that's the humour of it.
Oh, braggart, vile, and damned furious wight, the grave doth gape, and doting death is near. Therefore, exhale!
Hear me! He that strikes the first stroke, I'll run him up to the hilts. As I'm a soldier, I'll kill him.
An oath of mickle might and fury shall abate. Give me thy fist, thy forfeit to me give. Thy spirits are most tall.
I will cut thy throat one time or other in fair terms. That is the humour of it.
Coupe le gorge, that is the word. Oh, hound of Crete, think'st thou my spouse to get? I have, and I will hold thee quondam quickly for the only she. Porker, there's enough. Go to.
My nose, Pistol! You must come to my master, and you too, hostess. He's very sick and would to bed. Good Bardolph, put thy face between his sheets and do the office of a warming pan. Faith, he's very ill.
Away, you rogue!
now by my troth, he'll yield the crow a pudding one of these days. The king hath killed his heart. Good husband, come home presently.
Come, shall I make you two friends? We must to France together.
Let floods swell and fiends for food howl on.
You'll pay me the 8 shilling I one of you at betting.
Base is a slave that pays.
That now I will have, that is the humour of it.
As manhood shall compound, push home.
By this sword, he that makes the first thrust, I'll kill him. By this sword, I will.
Sword is an oath, and oaths must have their course.
Corporal Nim, and thou wilt be friends, be friends. And what thou wilt not, why then, be enemies with me too. Prithee, put up.
I shall have me 8 shillings.
And noble shalt thou have and present pay, and liquor likewise will I give to thee, and friendship shall combine, and brotherhood. I shall live by Nim, and Nim shall live by me. Is not this just? For I shall sutler be unto the camp, and profits will accrue. Give me the hand.
I shall have me noble.
In cash most justly paid.
Well then, that's the humour of it.
Whenever you come of woman, coming quickly to Sir John. Oh, poor heart, he is so shaked of a burning quotidian tertian that it is most lamentable to behold. Sweet men, come to him.
The king hath run bad humours on the night. That's the even of it.
Nim, thou hast spoke the right. His heart is fractured and corroborate.
The king is a good king, but it must be as it may.
Let us condole the night, for lambkins, we will live.
The French, advised by good intelligence of this most dreadful preparation, shake in their fear, and with pale policy seek to divert the English purposes. O England, model to thy inward greatness, like little body with a mighty heart. What mightst thou do that honour would thee do, were all thy children kind and natural? But see thy fault, France hath in thee found out a nest of hollow bosoms, which he fills with treacherous crowns, and 3 corrupted men, one Richard, Earl of Cambridge, and the second Henry, Lord Scrope of Massam, and the third Sir Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland, have for the guilt of France, oh guilt indeed, confirmed conspiracy with fearful France, and by their hands this Grace of Kings must die, if hell and treason hold their promises, ere he take ship for France, and in Southampton linger your patience on, and we'll digest the abuse of distance. Force a play, the sum is paid, the traitors are agreed. The king is set from London, and the scene is now transported, gentles, to Southampton. There is the playhouse now, there must you sit, and thence to France shall we convey you safe and bring you back, charming the narrow seas to give you gentle pass. For if we may, we'll not offend one stomach with our play.
For God! His Grace is bold to trust these traitors.
They shall be apprehended by and by.
As smooth and even they do bear themselves, as if allegiance in their bosoms sat crowned with faith and constant loyalty.
The king hath note of all that they intend, by interception, which they dream not of.
Nay, but the man that was his bedfellow, whom the king hath dulled and cloyed with gracious favours, that he should for a foreign purse so sell his sovereign's life to death and treachery.
Now, since the wind fared, we will aboard. My Lord of Cambridge, and my kind Lord of Massam, and you, my gentle knight, give me your thoughts. Think you not that the powers we bear with us will cut their passage through the force of France?
No doubt, my liege, if each man do his best.
I doubt not that, since we are well persuaded, we carry not a heart with us from hence that grows not in a fair consent with ours.
Never was monarch better feared and loved than is your majesty.
Even those that were your father's enemies have steeped their galls in honey for your sake.
We judge no less. Uncle Exeter, enlarge the man that was committed yesterday that railed against our person. We consider it was excess of wine that set him on, and on his more advice we pardon him.
That's mercy, but too much security. Let him be punished, sovereign, lest the example of him breed more of such a kind.
Let us yet be merciful.
So may your highness, and yet punish too.
Sir, you show great mercy if you give him life, after the taste of much correction.
Alas, you're too much love and care of me, heavy orisons against this poor wretch. If little faults proceeding on distemper shall not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye when capital crimes, chewed, swallowed, and digested, appear before us? We'll yet enlarge that man, though Cambridge and the rest, in their dear loves and tender preservation of our person, would have him punished. And now for our French causes. Who are the late commissioners?
I won, my lord. Your highness bade me ask for it today.
So did you mean, my liege?
And I, my royal sovereign. Then Richard Earl of Cambridge, there is yours. They're yours, Lord Scrope of Massam, and Sir Knight Grey of Northumberland, this same as yours. Read them, and know. I know your worthiness. Uncle Exeter, we will aboard tonight. Why, how now, gentlemen? Why change you colour? Look you, how they change, the cheeks of paper. Why, what read you there that hath so cowarded and chased your blood out of appearance?
Will you confess my fault, and do submit me to your highness' mercy? For which we all appeal.
The mercy that was quick in us but late by your own counsel is suppressed and killed. You must not dare, for shame! To talk of mercy. See you, my princes and my noble peers, these English monsters. My Lord of Cambridge here, you know how apt our love was to accords, to furnish him with all appurtenance belonging to his honour. And this man hath, for a few light crowns, lightly conspired to kill us here in Hampton, to the which this night, no less for bounty bound to us than Cambridge is, hath likewise sworn. But, what shall I say to thee, Lord Scrope, thou cruel, ingrateful, savage, and inhuman creature. Thou, that didst bear the key of all my counsels, that knewest the very bottom of my soul, that almost mightst have coined me into gold, which thou hast practised on me. It is so strange that the truth of it stands up as gross as black and white, my eye will scarcely see it. Show men dutiful, why so didst thou. Seem they grave and learned, why so didst thou. Come they of noble family, why so didst thou. Seem they religious, why so didst thou. Or are they spare in diet, free from gross passion, or of mirth or anger, constant in spirit, not swerving with the blood, garnished and decked in modest compliment, such and so finely bolted didst thou seem, and thus thy fall hath left a kind of blot to mark the full-fraught man, and best endued with some suspicion. I will weep for thee, for this revolt of thine, methinks, is like another fall of man. When the faults are open, arrest them to the answer of the law, and God acquit them of their practices.
I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Richard, Earl of Cambridge. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Henry, Lord Scroop of Masson. I arrest thee of high treason by the name of Thomas Grey, Knight of Northumberland.
Our purposes God justly hath discovered, and I repent my fault more than my death.
For me, the gold of France did not seduce, although I did admit it as a motive the sooner to effect what I intended. But God be thanked for prevention.
Never did faithful subject more rejoice at the discovery of most dangerous treason than I do at this hour. Joy o'er myself. My fault, but not my body. Pardon, sovereign.
God quit you in his mercy. Hear your sentence. You have conspired against our royal person, joined with an enemy proclaimed, and from his coffers received the golden earnest of our death. Touching our person seek we no revenge, but we our kingdom's safety must so tender, whose ruin you have sought, that to her laws we do deliver you. Get you therefore hence, poor miserable wretches. To your death. Now, lords, for France. We doubt not now, but every rub is smoothed on our way. And forth, the countrymen, the signs of war advance. No king of England, if not king of France.
No! For my manly heart, Dudley Earn, Bardolph, be blithe. Nym, rouse thy vaunting veins. Boy, bristle thy courage up, for Falstaff, he is dead and we must earn therefore.
Would I were with him, where Sir Mary is, either in heaven or in hell.
Nay, sure, he's not in hell. He's in Arthur's bosom, if ever man went to Arthur's bosom. He made a finer end and went away as it had been any christened child. He parted even between 12 and 1, even at the turning of the tide. For after I saw him fumble with the sheets, and play with flowers, and smile upon his fingers' ends, I knew there was but one way. For his nose was as sharp as a pen, and he babbled of green fields. And now, Sir John, quoth I, what man, be of good cheer? So he cried out, God, 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 3 or 4 times. Now I, to comfort him, bid him he should not think of God. I hope there was no need to trouble himself with any such thoughts yet. So he bade me lay more clothes on his feet. I put my hand into the bed and felt them, and they were as cold as any stone. Then I felt to his knees, and they were as cold as any stone. And so upward, and upward, and all was as cold as any stone.
Oh.
They say he cried, out of sack!
Aye, that he did!
And of women!
Nay, that he did not.
Yes, that he did, and said there were devils incarnate.
Well, he could never abide carnation. 'Twas a colour he never liked.
Well, he did cry out on women.
He did, in some sort, indeed, handle women, but then he was rheumatic and talked of the horror of Babylon.
Do you not remember? He saw a flea stand upon Bardolph's nose, and he said it was a black soul burning in hellfire.
Well, the fuel is gone that maintained that fire. That's all the riches I got in his service.
Shall we shog off? The king will be gone from Southampton. Clear thy crystals. Come, let's away. My love, give me thy lips. Look to my chattels and my movables. Let senses rule. The word is pitch and pay. Trust none, for oaths are straws, men's words are wafer cakes, and hold fast is the only dog, my duck. Yoke. Fellows in arms, let us to France. My boys, touch her soft mouth and march.
Farewell, hostess.
I cannot kiss, that is the humour of it. But adieu. Let House Wiffery appear. Keep close, I thee command.
Farewell.
She-ha!
Adieu.
Hey! Whoa! Got to tell you something. What are you doing? I've got to tell you something. Jeez. Thus comes the English with full power upon us, and more than carefully it us concerns to answer royally in our defences. It fits us then to be as provident as fear may teach us out of late examples left by the fatal and neglected English upon our fields.
My most redoubted father, it is most meet we arm us gainst the foe. Therefore I say, 'tis meet we all go forth to view the sick and feeble parts of France. And let us do it with no show of fear. No, with no more than if we heard that England were busied with a Whitsun Morris dance. For my good liege, she is so idly kinged, her sceptre so fantastically borne by a vain, giddy, shallow, humorous youth, that fear attends her not.
Oh, peace, Prince Dauphin. You are too much mistaken in this king. Question your grace the late ambassador, with what great state he heard his embassage, and you shall find his vanities forespent were but the outside of the Roman Brutus, covering discretion with a coat of folly, as gardeners do with ordure hide those roots that shall first spring and be more delicate.
Well, 'tis not so, my lord high constable. But though we think it so, it is no matter. In cases of defence, 'tis best to weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems. So the proportions of defence are filled. which of a weak or niggardly projection doth, like a miser, spoil his coat with scanting a little cloth.
Think we King Harry strong, and princes look you strongly armed to meet him. He's bred out of that bloody strain that haunted us in our familiar paths. Witness our too much memorable shame when Cressy battle fatally was struck, and all our princes captive by the hand of that black name, Edward, Black Prince of Wales, whilst with his mountain sire on mountain standing, saw his heroical seed and smiled to see him mangle the work of nature and deface the patterns that by God and by French fathers had 20 years been made. This is a stem of that victorious stock, and let us fear the native mightiness and fate of him.
Ambassadors from Harry, King of England, do crave admittance to your majesty.
We'll give them present audience. Go and bring them. You see, this chase is hotly followed, friends.
Turn ahead and stop pursuit. For coward dogs most spend their mouths when what they seem to threaten runs far before them. Good, my sovereign, take up the English short, and let them know of what a monarchy you are the head. Self-love, my liege, is not so vile a sin as self-neglecting.
From our brother, England.
From him. And thus he greets your majesty. He wills you in the name of God Almighty that you divest yourself and lay apart the borrowed glories that by gift of heaven, by law of nature and of nations, long to him and to his heirs, namely the crown and all wide-stretched titles that pertain unto the crown of France. That you may know 'tis no sinister nor no awkward claim picked from the wormholes of long-vanished days, nor from the dust of old oblivion raked. He sends you this most memorable line, willing you overlook this pedigree, and when you find him evenly derived from his most famed of famous ancestors, Edward the Third, he bids you then resign your crown and kingdom.
What else? What follows?
Bloody constraint. For if you hide the crown, even in your hearts, there will he rake for it. Therefore in fierce tempest is he coming, in thunder and in earthquake like a Jove, that if requiring fail, he will compel, and bids you in the bowels of the Lord deliver up the crown, and to take mercy on the poor souls for whom this hungry war opens his vasty jaws, and on your head turns he the widow's tears, the orphan's cries, the dead men's blood, the pining maiden's groans, for husbands, fathers, and betrothed lovers that shall be swallowed in this controversy. This is his claim, his threatening, and my message, unless the dolphin be in presence here, to whom expressly I bring greeting too.
For us, we will consider of this further. Tomorrow shall you bear our full intent back to our brother, England.
For the Dauphin, I stand here for him. What to him from England?
Scorn and defiance, slight regard, contempt. And anything that may not misbecome the mighty sender doth he prize you at. Thus says my king. And if your father's highness do not, in grant of all demands at large, sweeten the bitter mock you sent his majesty, he'll call you to so hot an answer of it, that caves and woomy voltages of France shall chide your trespass, and return your mock in second accent of his ordinance.
Say, if my father render fair return, it is against my will, for I desire nothing but odds with England. To that end, as matching to his youth and vanity, I did present him with the Paris balls.
He'll make your Paris Louvre shake for it. And be assured, you shall find a difference, as we his subjects have in wonder found, between the promise of his greener days and these he masters now. Now he weighs time even to the utmost grain. That You shall read in your own losses if he stay in France.
Tomorrow shall you know our mind in full.
Dispatch us with all speed, lest that our king come here himself to question our delay, for he is footed in this land already.
A night is but small breath and little pause to answer matters of this consequence.
Thus, with imagined wing, our swift scene flies, in motion of no less celerity than that of thought. Suppose that you have seen the well-appointed king at Hampton Pier embark his royalty, and his brave fleet with silken streamers the young Phoebus fanning. Play with your fancies, and in them behold, upon the hempen tackle, shipboys climbing. Hear the shrill whistle which doth order give to sounds confused. Behold, the threatened sails, borne with the invisible and creeping wind, draw the huge bottoms through the furrowed sea, breasting the lofty surge. Oh, do but think you stand upon the rivage, and behold a city on the inconstant billows dancing. For so appears this fleet majestical, holding due course to Harfleur. Follow, follow. Grapple your minds to sternage of this navy, and leave your England as dead midnight still, guarded with grandsires, babies, and old women, either past or not arrived to pith and puissance. For who is he whose chin is but enriched with one appearing hair that will not follow these cold and choice-drawn cavaliers to France? Work your thoughts, and therein see a siege. Behold, the ordnance on their carriages, with fatal mouths gaping on girded Harfleur. Suppose the ambassador from the French comes back, tells Harry that the king doth offer him Catherine his daughter, and with her to dowry some petty and unprofitable dukedoms. The offer likes not, and the nimble gunner with linstock now the devilish cannon touches. And down goes all before them. Still, be kind, and eke out our performance with your mind.
Once more! Onto the breach, dear friends, once more! Or close the wall up with our English dead! In peace, there is nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger! Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard-favored rage, and then lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let it pry through the portage of the head like the brass cannon. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to his full height. On! You noblest English, whose blood is fed from fathers of war-proof. Fathers are like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you call fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us here the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble lustre in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game is afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge, cry, God for Harry! God for Harry! England! And St. George!
Imitate a tiger! Stretch your greyhounds wide! Dishonor not your nostrils! To the breach!
Prithee, corporal, stay! The Knox is too hot. And for mine own part, I have not a case of life. The humour of it is too hot. That is the very plain song of it.
That plain song is most just, for her humours do abound. Knocks go, shung, and come, shing, oh. God's vassals drop and die, and sword and shield in bloody field doth win immortal fame.
Would I were in an alehouse in London, I would give all my fame for a pot of ale and safety.
And I, if wishes would prevail with me, my purpose would not fail with me, but hither would I be merciful, great Duke, to men of Mull.
Avaunt you, cullions!
Abate thy rage,
Jeez!
sweet knight! Abate thy rage!
Will you not up to the preaches?
Abate thy rage! Use lenity, sweet
Lenity, avaunt! These be good humours. Your Honour wins bad humours. Up to the preaches, you booble! Jesus! To the breeze!
Well, I would I were once from them. I have observed these three swashers. Three such antics do not amount to a man. For Bardolph, he is white-livered and red-faced, by the means whereof he faces it out, but fights not. For Pistol, he hath a killing tongue and a quiet sword. For Nym, he never broke any man's head but his own, and that was against the post when he was drunk. They would steal anything and call it purchase. Bardolph stole a loot case, carried it 3 miles, and sold it for 3 halfpence. Nym and Bardolph are sworn brothers in filching, and in Calais they stole a fire shovel. They would have me as familiar with men's pockets as their gloves. Well, if they will not leave me, I mean to leave them.
Captain Llewellyn, you must come presently to the mines. The Duke of Gloucester would speak with you.
To the mines? Tell you the Duke it is not so good to come to the mines. For look you, the mines is not according to the disciplines of the war. The concavities of it is not sufficient. For, look you, the enemy, you may discuss unto the Duke, look you, is digged himself 4 yard under the countermines. By Jesu, I think he will blow up all if there's not better directions.
The Duke of Gloucester, to whom the order of the siege is given, is altogether directed by an Irishman, a very valiant gentleman, i' faith.
It is Captain MacMorris, is it not?
I think it be.
By Jesu, he is an ass. As in the world. He has no more directions in the true disciplines of the wars, look you, of the Roman disciplines, than is a puppy dog.
Ah, well, here it comes. Oh, and the Scots captain, Captain Jamie, with him.
Captain Jamie is a marvellous, valorous gentleman, that is certain. By Jesu, he will maintain his argument as well as any military man in the world. In the disciplines of the pristine wars of the Romans. Oh, good evening to your worship, good Captain James.
And now, Captain MacMorris, have you quit the mines? Have the pioneers given all?
By Christ's law, 'tis ill done. The work is give over. The trumpet sound the retreat. By my hand, I swear on my father's soul, the work is ill done. It is give over. I would have blowed up the town, Sir Christ save me, Lord, in an hour. Oh, 'tis ill done, by my hand, 'tis ill done.
Captain MacMorris, I beseech you now, will you vouchsafe me, look you, a few disputations with you? As partly touching or concerning the disciplines of the war, the Roman wars, in the way of argument, look you, and friendly communication, partly to satisfy my opinion, and partly for the satisfaction, look you, of my mind, as touching the direction of the military discipline. That is the point.
Che fai? Che cavolo fai? Ma spera che io levo il pacchetto, eh? Ai! Andiamo!
It is no time to discourse, Sir Christ save me.
But
the day is hot, and the weather, and the wars, and the king, and the dukes. It is no time to discourse. The town is besieged. And the trumpet call us to the breach, and we talk, and with Christ do nothing. 'Tis shame for us all, that God save me. 'Tis shame to stand still. It is shame by my hand, and there is throats to be cut, and works to be done, and there is nothing done. So Christ save me, Lord.
Bear ma. Hier is hij zo een zoals zomaar. Al deze zoals ze luggen een goeie vat. Oh God, hè. Al pees was is hij. Wat zei mij? Dat is zo bref al. Oh, madam. Sophia, so crazy to it.
Captain McMorris, I think, look you, under your correction, there is not many of your nation who would be
my
able
nation. What is my nation? Oh, 'tis a villain, and a bastard, and a knave, and a rascal. What is my nation? Who talks of my nation?
Look you! If you take the matter otherwise than is meant, Captain McMorris, peradventure, I shall think you do not use me with that affability as in discretion you ought to use me. Look you, being as good a man as yourself, both in the disciplines of war and in the derivation of my birth, and in other particularities.
I do not know you so good a man as myself, so Christ save me. I will cut off your head.
Gentlemen both, you will mistake each other.
Aye! That's fearful.
The town sounds a parley.
Captain McMorris, when there is more better opportunity to be required, look you, I will be so bold as to tell you I know the disciplines of war, and there is an end.
How yet resolves the governor of the town? This is the latest pearl we will admit. Therefore, to our best mercy, give yourselves. Or, like to men proud of destruction, defy us to our worst. For as I am a soldier, a name that in my thoughts becomes me best, if I begin the battery once again, I will not leave the half-achieved Harfleur till in her ashes she lie buried. The gates of mercy shall be all shut up, and the fleshed soldier, rough and hard of heart, in liberty of bloody hand, shall range with conscience wide as hell, mowing like grass your fresh fair virgins and your flowering infants. And take pity of your town and of your people, whilst yet my soldiers are in my command. If not, why, in a moment look to see the blind and bloody soldier with foul hand defile the locks of his shrill, shrieking daughters. Your fathers, taken by the silver beards and their most reverend heads, dashed to the walls. Your naked infants spitted upon pikes, whilst the mad mothers, with their howls confused, do break the clouds. As did the wives of Jewry at Herod's bloody hunting slaughtermen. What say you? Will you yield and this avoid? Or guilty in defense be thus destroyed?
Our expectations hath this day an end. The Dauphin, whom of succours we entreated, returns us that his powers are yet not ready to raise so great a siege. Therefore, great King, we yield our town and lives to thy soft mercy. Enter our gates, dispose of us and ours, for we no longer are defensible.
Open your gates! Come, Uncle Exeter, go you and enter Harfleur, there remain, and fortify it strongly against the French. Use mercy! To them all. And for us, dear uncle, the winter coming on, and sickness growing upon our soldiers, we will retire to Calais. And tonight in Harfleur we will be your guest. Tomorrow, for the march, are we addressed.
Alice, tu as été en Angleterre et tu parles bien le langage.
Un peu, madame.
Je te prie, m'enseigner. Il faut que j'apprenne à parler. Comment appelez-vous la main en anglois?
La main? Elle est appelée the Hand.
The Hand. Et les doigts?
Les doigts? Ma foi, j'oublie les doigts. Mais je me souviendrai. Les doigts, je pense qu'ils sont appelés the fingers. Oui, the fingers.
La main. The Hand. Les doigts. The Fingies. Je pense que je suis le bon écolier.
Oui.
J'ai gagné 2 mots d'anglois. Vitement. Comment appelez-vous les ongles?
Des ongles? Nous les appelons the nails.
The nails. Écoutez, dites-moi si je parle bien. The Hand, the Fingies et the nails.
Oui, c'est bien dit, madame. Il faut bon anglois.
Dites-moi l'anglois pour le bras.
The arm, madame.
Et le coude?
The elbow.
D'elbow. Je m'en fais la répétition de tous les mots que vous m'avez appris dès à présent.
Il est trop difficile, madame, comme je pense.
Bah, excusez-moi, Alice. Écoutez. The Hand, the Fingies, the Nails, des armes, des bilbous.
The elbow, madame.
Ah, Seigneur Dieu, je m'en oublie, dit elbow. Comment appelez-vous le col?
Dit Nick, madame.
Dit Nick. Et le menton?
Dit Chine.
De Cyne. Le col dit Nick, le menton de Cyne.
Oui, sauf votre honneur, en vérité. En vérité, vous prononcez le mot aussi droit que le natif d'Angleterre.
Je ne doute pas d'apprendre. Par la grâce de Dieu et en peu de temps.
N'avez-vous pas déjà oublié ce que je vous ai enseigné?
Non, je réciterai à vous promptement. The Hand, the Fingies, des Nails.
The Nails, madame.
The Nails, des armes, des ilbous.
Sauf votre honneur, the elbow.
Ainsi dit, je dis elbow, dit Nick et dit Cyne. Comment appelez-vous le pied et la robe?
De foot, madame. Et de kunt.
De foot et de kunt. Oh Seigneur Dieu, ce sont des mots de son mauvais, corruptible, gros et impudique. Et non pour les dames d'honneur, d'user. Je ne voudrais prononcer ces mots devant les seigneurs de France pour tout le monde. Le foot et le kunt. Néanmoins, je réciterai ma leçon une autre fois encore. The Hand, the Fingies, the Nails, des armes de elbow, des Nick, des Cyne, des foot et des kunt. Excellent, madame. C'est assez pour une fois. Allons-nous à dîner.
'Tis certain he hath passed from him a son. And if he be not fought withal, my lord, let us not live in France. Let us quit all and give our vineyards to a barbarous people.
Normans, but bastard Normans. Norman bastards. Mort de ma vie. If they march along unfought withal, I will sell my dukedom to buy a slobbery and a foggy farm in that nook-shotten isle of Albion.
Dieu vivant, shall a few sprays of us, the emptying of our fathers' luxury, outgrow their grafters?
Dieu de bataille, where have they this metal? Is not their climate foggy, raw, and dull? On whom as in disdain the sun looks pale, killing their fruit with frowns, can their barley broth decoct their cold blood to such valiant heat? And shall our quick blood, spirited with wine, seem frosty? Oh, for honour of our land! Let us not hang like roping icicles upon our houses' thatch, whilst a more frosty people sweat drops of gallant youth in our rich fields.
By faith and honour, our madams mock at us, and plainly say our metal is bred out, and they will give their bodies to the lust of English youth, to new store France with bastard warriors.
They bid us to the English dancing schools to teach the vaulters high and swift carantos, saying our grace is only in our heels, and that we are most lofty runaways.
Where is Montjoy the herald? Speed him hence. Let him greet England with our sharp defiance. Up, princes, and with spirit of honour edged more sharper than your swords, high to the field. Charles de la Breath, High Constable of France. You Dukes of Orleans, Bourbon and of Berry, Alençon, Brabant, Bar and Burgundy, High Dukes, great princes, barons, lords and knights, for your great seats now quit you of great shames. Bar, Harry, England, that sweeps through our land with pennons painted in the blood of Harfleur. Rush on his host as doth the melted snow upon the valleys whose low vassals seat. The Alps doth spit and void his room upon. Go down upon him, you have power enough, and in a captive chariot into Rouen bring him our prisoner.
This becomes the great. Sorry am I his numbers are so few, his soldiers sick and famished in their march, for I am sure when he shall see our army, he'll drop his heart into the sink of fear, and for achievement offer us his ransom.
Therefore, Lord Constable, haste on Montjoy, and let him say to England that we send to know what willing ransom he will give. Prince Dauphin, you shall stay with us in Rouen.
Not so. I do beseech your majesty.
Be patient, for you shall remain with us. Now, forth, Lord Constable and princes all, and quickly bring us word of England's fall.
Hey ho, nobody ho, no meat nor drink nor money have I none. Then shall I be very merry. Hey ho, nobody ho. Hey ho, nobody ho. Then shall I be very merry. Then shall I be very merry. Hey ho, nobody ho. Nor drink, nor money have I none. Then shall I be very merry.
Oh, now, Captain Fluellen, coming from the bridge.
I'll assure you there is very excellent services committed at the bridge.
Is the Duke of Exeter safe?
The Duke of Exeter is as magnanimous as Agamemnon. And a man that I love and honour with my soul and my heart and my duty and my life and my living and my uttermost power. He is not, God be praised and blessed, any hurt in the world. He keeps the bridge most valiantly with excellent discipline. Captain Gower, there is an ancient lieutenant there at the bridge. I think in my very conscience he is as valiant a man as Mark Antony. And he's a man of no estimation in the world. But I did see him do as gallant service.
What do you call him?
He is called Ancient Pistol.
I know him not.
Well, oh God, here is the man. Oh, gee, look, Captain Gower. Oh, gee.
Captain, I thee beseech to do me favours. The Duke of Exeter doth love thee well.
Well, I praise God, and I have merited some love at his hands.
Bardolph, a soldier firm and sound of heart and of buxom valour. has by cruel fate and giddy fortune's furious fickle will that goddess blind that stands upon the rolling restless stone.
By your patience, ancient pistol, Fortune, look you, is painted blind with a muffler afore her eyes to signify to you that Fortune is blind.
Aye,
No. And she's painted with a wheel to signify to you, which is the moral of it, that she is turning and inconstant and mutability and variation.
And
and a foot, look you, is fixed upon a spherical stone, which rolls and rolls and rolls.
Fortune
In
is
good truth, the poet makes a most excellent description of it. Fortune is an excellent moral.
Fortune is Bardolph's foe, and frowns on him, for he is stolen at Pax, and hanged must be, damned death. Let gallows gate for dog, let man go free, and let not hemp his windpipe suffocate. But Exeter hath given the doom of death for Pax of little price. Therefore, go speak. The Duke will hear thy voice, and let not Bardolph's vital thread be cut with edge of penny cord and vile reproach. Speak, Captain, for his life, and I will thee requite.
Ancient pistol, I do partly understand your meaning.
Oh, well, then rejoice therefore.
Certainly, ancient. It is not a thing to rejoice at. Oh. No, for if, look you, he were my brother, I would desire the Duke to use his good pleasure and put him to executions. For discipline ought to be used.
Die and be damned, and figo for thy friendship.
It is well.
The fig of Spain within thy jaw.
That is very well.
I say the fig within thy bowels and thy dirty maw.
Very good. Captain Gower, cannot you hear it lightning and thunder?
Why, is this the ancient that you told me of?
No, it wasn't that one.
An arrant counterfeit rascal. Oh, I remember him now. A bawd. A cut purse.
I'll assure you, he uttered as brave words at the bridge as you shall see in a summer's day. But it is very well. What he has spoke to me, that is well, I warrant you. When time is served...
Why, 'tis a gull, a fool, a rogue that goes to the wars only to grace himself at his return into London under the form of a soldier. And such fellows are perfect in the great commanders' names, and they will learn you by rote where services are done, at such and such a sconce, at such a breach, at such a convoy, who came off bravely, who was shot, who disgraced, what terms the enemy stood on, and this they con perfectly in the phrase of war, which they trick up with new tuned oaths. And what a beard of the general's cut, and a horrid shout of the camp will do, among foaming bottles and ale-washed wits is wonderful to be thought on. But you must learn to know such slanders of this age, or else you may be marvellously mistook.
I'll tell you what, Captain Gower, I do perceive he is not the man that he would gladly make show to the world he is. But when time shall serve, I shall tell him a little of my desires. Hark you, the king is coming! God bless your majesty!
Oh, now, Llewellyn came south from the bridge. Llewellyn came south from the bridge.
Aye, so please your majesty, the Duke of Exeter has very gallantly maintained the bridge. Yes! The French is gone off, look you! And there is gallant and most brave passages. Marry, the adversary was at possession of the bridge, but he is enforced to retire, and the Duke of Exeter is master of the bridge! Hurrah!
What men have you lost, Llewellyn?
The perdition of the adversary hath been very great. Well, reasonable great. Marry, for my part, I think we have lost never a man. Ooh, but one that is like to be executed for robbing a church. One Bardolph, if your majesty know the man. His face is all bubuncles and whelks. And his lips blows at his nose, and it's like a coal of fire. Sometimes blue, and sometimes red. But his nose is executed and his fire's out.
We would... we would have all such offenders so cut off. And we give express charge that in our marches through the country, there be nothing taken from the villages, but paid for! None of the French upbraided or abused in disdainful language, for when lenity and cruelty play for a kingdom, the gentler gamester is the soonest winner.
You know me by my habit.
Well, then I know thee. What shall I know of thee?
My master's mind.
Unfold it.
Thus says my king. Say thou to Harry of England, though we seemed dead, we did but sleep. Now we speak upon our cue, and our voice is imperial. England shall repent his folly, see his weakness, and admire our sufferance. Bid him therefore consider of his ransom, which must proportion the losses we have borne, the subjects we have lost, the disgrace we have digested. For our losses, his exchequer is too poor. For the effusion of our blood, the muster of his kingdom too faint a number. And for our disgrace, his own person kneeling at our feet, but a weak and worthless satisfaction. To this add defiance, and tell him for conclusion, he hath betrayed his followers, whose condemnation is pronounced. So far my king and master, so much my office.
What is thy name? I know thy quality.
Montjoy.
And thou dost thy office fairly. Turn thee back. And tell thy king I do not seek him now, but could be willing to march on to Calais without impeachment, for to say the sooth, though 'tis no wisdom to confess so much unto an enemy of craft and vantage. My people are with sickness much enfeebled, my numbers lessened, and those few I have almost no better than so many French. When they were in health, I tell thee, Harold, I thought upon one pair of English legs did march 3 Frenchmen. Yet forgive me, God, that I do brag thus. This your heir of France hath blown that vice in me. I must repent. Go therefore, tell thy master, here I am. My ransom is this frail and worthless trunk. My army but a weak and sickly guard. Yet God before, tell him we will come on, though France himself and such another neighbour stand in our way. As for thy labour, Montjoy, go bid thy master well advise himself. If we may pass, we will. If we be hindered, we shall your tawny ground with your red blood discolour. And so, Montjoy, fare you well. The sum of all our answer is but this. We would not seek a battle as we are. Nor as we are, we say we will not shun it.
I shall deliver so. Thanks to your highness.
I hope they will not come upon us now.
We're in God's hands now, not theirs. We march to the bridge. Now draws toward night. Beyond the river we'll encamp ourselves, and on tomorrow we'll bid them march away.
Crispian's day is drawing near at hand. Come serve the Lord and be at his command. And God a portion for you will provide, and give a blessing to your soul besides.
booming murmur and the pouring dark fills the wide vessel of the universe. From camp to camp, through the foul womb of night, the hum of either army stilly sounds, that the fixed sentinels almost receive the secret whispers of each other's watch. Fire answers fire, and through their paly flames, each battle sees the other's umbered face. Steed threatens steed, and high and boastful neighs, piercing the night's dull ear. And from the tents, the armorers, accomplishing the nights with busy hammers closing rivets up, give dreadful note of preparation.
Tut! I have the best armor of the world. Would it were day.
You have an excellent armor, but let my horse have his due.
It is the best horse of Europe.
Will it never be morning?
My Lord of Orleans and my Lord High Constable, you talk of horse and armor.
You are as well provided of both as any prince in the world.
Well, yes. What a long night is this, hmm? I will not change my horse with any. Sah. He bounds from the earth as if his entrails were hairs. Le cheval volant, the Pegasus, qui a les narines de feu. When I bestride him, I soar. I am a hawk. He trots the air. The earth sings when he touches it. The basest horn of his hoof is more musical than the pipe of Hermes.
He's of the color of the nutmeg.
And of the heat of the ginger. It is a beast for Perseus. He is pure air and fire, and the dull elements of earth and water never appear in him, but only in patient stillness, while his rider mounts him. He is indeed a horse, and all other jades you may call beasts.
Indeed, my lord. It is a most absolute and excellent horse.
It is the prince of palfreys. His neigh is like the bidding of a monarch, and his countenance enforces homage.
No more, cousin.
Nay, the man hath no wit that cannot from the rising of the lark to the lodging of the lamb vary deserved praise on my palfrey. It is a theme as fluent as the sea. Turn the sands into eloquent tongues, and my horse is argument for them all. It is a subject for a sovereign to reason on, and for a sovereign to ride on. I once wrote a sonnet in his praise and began thus. Wonder of nature.
I have heard a sonnet begin so to one's mistress.
Then did they imitate that which I composed to my courser? For my horse is my mistress.
Your mistress bears well.
Me well, which is the perfection of a good and particular mistress.
Nay! For methought yesterday your mistress shrewdly shook your back.
So perhaps did yours.
Mine was not bridle.
I tell thee, Constable, my mistress wears his own hair.
I could make as true a boast as that if I had a sow to my mistress.
My Lord Constable, the armor that I saw in your tent tonight, are those stars or suns upon it?
Stars, my lord.
Some of them will fall tomorrow, I hope.
And yet my sky shall not want.
That may be, for you bear a many superfluously, and to a more honour some were away.
Even as your horse bears your praises, who would trot as well were some of your brags dismounted?
Would I were able to load him with his desert. Will it never be day? I will trot tomorrow a mile, and my way shall be paved with English faces.
I will not say so for fear I should be faced out of my way, but I would it were morning. For I would fain be about the ears of the English.
Who will go to Hazard with me for 20 prisoners?
You must first go yourself to Hazard ere you have them.
'Tis midnight. I'll go arm myself.
The Dauphin longs for morning.
He longs to eat the English.
I think he will eat all he killed.
He is simply the most active gentleman of France.
Doing is activity, and he will still be doing.
He never did harm that I heard of.
Nor will do none tomorrow. He will keep that good name still.
I know him to be valiant.
I was told that by one who knows him better than you.
What's he?
Marry, he told me so himself. And he said he cared not who knew it.
He needs not. It is no hidden virtue in him.
Oh, by my faith, sir, but it is. Never anybody saw it but his lackey. It is a hooded valour, and when it appears, it will bait.
Ill will never said well.
I will cap that proverb with there is flattery in friendship.
And I will take up that with give the devil his due.
Well placed. There stands your friend for the devil.
Sir!
My Lord High Constable, the English lie within 1,500 paces of your tents.
Who hath measured the ground?
The Lord Grand Prix.
A valiant and most expert gentleman, oh, would it were they. Alas, poor Harry of England, he longs not for the dawning as we do.
What a wretched and peevish fellow is this King of England, to mope with his fat-brained followers so far out of his knowledge.
If the English had any apprehension, they would run away.
That they lack.
That island of England breeds very valiant creatures. Their mastiffs are of unmatchable courage.
Foolish curs that run, winking into the mouth of a Russian bear, and have their heads crushed like rotten apples. You may as well say that's a valiant flea that dare eat his breakfast on the lip of a lion.
Just. But give them great meals of beef and iron and steel, and they will eat like wolves and fight like devils.
Aye, but these English are shrewdly out of beef.
Then shall we find tomorrow they have only stomachs to eat and none to fight. Now is it time to arm. Come, shall we about it?
It is now 2 o'clock. Let me see, by 10 we shall each have 100 English men.
The country cocks do crow, the clocks do toll, and the third hour of drowsy morning name. Proud of their numbers and secure in soul, the confident and over-lusty French do the low-rated English play at dice and chide the crippled tardy gait at night, who like a foul and ugly witch doth limp so tediously away. The poor condemned English, like sacrifices, by their watchful fires sit patiently and inly ruminate the morning's danger, and their gesture sad, investing lank, lean cheeks and war-worn coats, presenteth them unto the gazing moon so many horrid ghosts. Oh, now, who will behold the royal captain of this ruined band, walking from watch to watch, from tent to tent? Let him cry praise and glory on his head, for forth he goes and visits all his host, bids them good morrow with a modest smile, and calls them brothers, friends, and countrymen. Upon his royal face there is no note how dread an army hath enrounded them, that every wretch, pining and pale before, beholding him, plucks comfort from his looks. A largesse, universal, like the sun, his liberal eye doth give to every one, thawing cold fear, that mean and gentle all behold, as may unworthiness define, a little touch of Harry in the night. And so our scene must to the battle fly, where, oh, for pity, we shall much disgrace, with 4 or 5 most vile and ragged foils, right ill disposed, in brawl ridiculous, the name of Agincourt. Yet sit and see, minding true things by what their mockeries be.
Cousin, 'tis true that we are in great danger. The greater, therefore, should our courage be. Oh, good morrow, old Sir Thomas Erpingham. A good soft pillow for that good white head were better than a churlish turf of France.
Not so, my liege. This lodging likes me better, since I may say now lie I like a king. Ha!
Lend me thy cloak, Sir Thomas. Cousins both, commend me to the princes in our camp, do my good morrow to them, and anon desire them all to my pavilion.
We shall, my liege.
Shall I attend your grace?
No, my good knight, go with my cousins to my lords of England. I and my bosom must debate a while, and then I would no other company.
The Lord in heaven bless thee, noble Harry.
God of mercy, old heart, thou speaks cheerfully.
Quiver!
Friend.
Discuss unto me. Art thou officer, or art thou base, common, and popular?
No, sir, I am a gentleman of a company. What are you?
As good a gentleman as the emperor.
Then you are better than the king.
The king's a boarcock and a heart of gold, a lad of life, an imp of fame, of parents good, of fist most valiant. I kiss his dirty shoe, and from my heart strings I love the lovely bully. What is thy name?
Harry Leroy.
Leroy. A Cornishman. Art thou of Cornish crew?
No, sir, I am a Welshman.
Knowst thou Swelling?
Yes.
Tell him I'll knock his leak about his pate upon St. David's Day.
Oh, do not you wear your dagger in your cap that day, lest he knock that about yours.
Art thou his friend?
And his kinsman too.
The figo for thee, then.
Thank you.
My name is She-Ha Pistol Call.
Sorts well with your fierceness.
Pistol is my name.
Captain Llewellyn! Erskine, David! In the name of Jesus Christ, speak lower! It is the greatest folly of the universal world when the true and ancient prerogatives and laws of the wars is not kept. If you would take the pains but to examine the wars of Pompey the Great, you shall find, I warrant you, that there is no tittle-toddle nor pibble-pabble in Pompey's camp.
Why, the enemy is loud. You hear him all night.
God, so loud? 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 If the enemy is an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb, is it meet that we should also be an ass and a fool and a prating coxcomb? In your own conscience now.
I will speak lower.
I pray you and beseech you, that you will.
Though it appear a little out of fashion, there is much care and valour in this Welshman.
Brother John Bates! Is not that the morning which breaks yonder?
I think it be. But we have no great cause to desire the day.
Aye, we see yonder the beginning. God knows whether we shall see the end or no.
Hey!
Who goes there?
Friend.
Under what captain serve ye?
Under Sir Thomas Erpingham.
Oh, good old commander, and a most kind gentleman. I pray ye, what thinks he of our estate?
Even as men wrecked upon a sand that looked to be washed off the next tide.
He hath not told his thought to the king.
No, nor is it not meet he should. For though I speak it to you, I think the king is but a man, as I am. The violet smells to him as it doth to me. His ceremonies laid by, in his nakedness he appears but a man. Therefore his fears be of the same relish as ours are. Yet no man should possess him with any appearance of fear, lest he by showing it should dishearten his army.
He may show what outward courage he will, but I believe, as cold a night as 'tis, the king could wish himself in Thames up to the neck. And so would he were, and I buy him at all adventures, so he were quit here.
By my troth, I think he would not wish himself anywhere but where he is.
Then I would he were here alone, and many a poor man's lives saved.
But I say you love him not so ill to wish him here alone. Methinks I could not die anywhere so contented as in the king's company, his cause being just and his quarrel honourable.
That's more than we know.
Aye, or more than we should seek after, for we know enough if we know we are the king's subjects. If his cause be wrong, our obedience to the king wipes the crime of it out of us.
But if the cause be not good, the king himself hath a heavy reckoning to make, when all those arms and legs and heads, chopped off in a battle, shall join together at the latter day and cry all, we died at such a place. Some swearing, some crying for a surgeon, some upon their wives left poor behind them, some upon the debts they owe, some upon their children rawly left. I'm afeard there are few die well that die in a battle. Now, if these men do not die well, it will be a black matter for the king that led them to it, whom to disobey were against all proportion of subjection.
And so, if a son that is by his father sent about merchandise do sinfully miscarry upon the sea, the imputation of his wickedness by your rule should be visited upon his father that sent him. Or if a servant, under his master's command, transporting a sum of money, be assailed by robbers and die in many irreconciled iniquities, you may call the business of the master the author of the servant's damnation. But this is not so. The king is not bound to answer the particular endings of his soldiers, the father of his son, nor the master of his servant, for they purpose not their deaths when they purpose their services. Besides, there is no king, be his cause never so spotless, can try it out with all unspotted soldiers, and some peradventure have on them the guilt of murder, some of beguiling virgins. Some making the wars their bulwark that have before gored the gentle bosom of peace with pillage and robbery. Now, if these men can outstrip the law, yet they have no wings to fly from God, war is God's beetle. War is God's vengeance. No more is the king guilty of their damnation than he was before guilty of their impieties. Every man's service is the king's, but every man's soul is his own. And therefore should every soldier in the wars do as every sick man in his bed, wash every mote out of his conscience, that in so doing he may be the readier for death. And dying so, death is to him no advantage. Or not dying, the time was blessedly lost wherein such preparation was gained.
But 'tis certain every man that dies ill, the ill upon his own head. The king is not to answer it.
I do not desire he should answer for me, and yet I determined to fight lustily for him.
You know, I myself heard the king say he would not be ransomed.
Aye, he said so to make us fight cheerfully, and when our throats are cut, he may be ransomed, and we ne'er the wiser.
If I live to see it, I'll never trust his word after.
You'll pay him then. 'Tis a great displeasure that an eldergun can do against a canon, or a subject against a monarch. You might as well go about to turn the sun to ice with fanning in his face with a peacock's feather. You'll never trust his word after. You're an ass. Go.
You're a proof of something too round. I should be angry with you if the time were convenient.
Well, let there be a quarrel between us then, if you live.
I embrace it.
How shall I know thee again?
Give me any gage of thine, I'll wear it in my hat, and if ever thou darest acknowledge it, I'll make it my quarrel.
Here's my glove. Give me another of thine.
There.
This will I also wear in my cap. If ever thou comes to me and say after tomorrow, this is my glove, by my hand I will take thee a box on the ear.
If I live to see it, I will challenge it.
Thou darest as well be hanged.
Well, I will do it, though I take thee in the king's company.
Keep thy word. Fare thee well.
Be friends. You English fools, be friends. We have French quarrels are now in hand. We have no need of English broils.
On the king. Let us our lives, our souls, our children, and our sins lay on the king. We must bear all. Hard condition. Twin-born with greatness. What infinite heart's ease must kings neglect, that private men enjoy. And what have kings, that privates have not too, save ceremony, save general ceremony? And what art thou, thou idle ceremony? Art thou what else but place, degree, and form, creating awe and fear in other men, wherein thou art less happy being feared than they in fearing? Be sick, greatness, and bid thy ceremony give thee cure. Thinkst thou the fiery fever will go out with titles blown from adulation? Will it give place to flexure and low bending? And canst thou, when thou commandst the beggar's knee, command the health of it? No. A proud dream that playest so subtly with a king's repose. I am a king that find thee, and I know 'tis not the balm, the scepter, and the ball, the sword, the mace, the crown imperial, the throne he sits on, nor the tide of pomp that beats upon the high shore of this world. No, not all these thrice gorgeous ceremony, not all these laid in bed majestical can sleep. Or so soundly as the wretched slave who, with a body filled and vacant mind, gets him to rest, crammed with distressful bread. Never sees horrid night, the child of hell, but like a lackey from the rise to set, sweats in the eye of Phoebus, and all night sleeps in Elysium. Next day after dawn doth rise and help Hyperion to his horse, and follow so the ever-running year with profitable labour to his grave, and but for ceremony, such a wretch, winding up days with toil and nights with sleep, had the forehand advantage of a king.
My lord, your nobles, jealous of your absence, seek through your camp to find you.
Good old knight, collect them together at my tent. I'll be before thee.
I'll do it, my lord.
O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts, possess them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning, ere the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made encompassing the crown. I, Richard's body, have interred anew, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up toward heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 chantries, where the sad and solemn priests sing still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. Good Westmoreland, aye, I know thy errand. I will go with thee. The day, my friends, and all things stay for me.
The sun doth gild our armor. Up, my lords!
Montez à cheval, my horse, valet laquais.
Oh, brave spirits!
Via les eaux et la terre.
Rien puis l'air et la feu.
Ciel, cousin Olio. Now, my lord constable.
Hark how our steeds for present service neigh.
Mount them, and make incision in their hides, that their hot blood may spin in English eyes, and doubt them with superfluous courage.
Ha! What? Will you have them weep our horses' blood? How shall we then behold their natural tears?
The English are embattled.
To horse, you gallant princes, straight to horse! Do but behold yon poor and starved band, and your fair show shall suck away their souls, leaving them but the shales and husks of men. There is not work enough for all our hands, scarce blood enough in all their sickly veins to give each naked curtle-axe a stain, that our French gallants shall today draw out and sheathe for lack of sport. Let us but blow on them. The vapour of our valour will o'erturn them. What's to say? A very little let us do, and all is done. Then let the trumpet sound, for our approach shall so much dare the field, that England shall couch down in fear and yield.
They have said their prayers and they stay for death.
Shall we go send them dinners and fresh suits, and give their fasting horses provender, and after fight with them?
Why do you stay so long, my lord of France? Yon island carrions, despot of their bones, ill-favouredly become the morning field. Come, come away. The sun is high, and we outwear the day.
Where's the king?
The king himself is rode to view their battle.
Of fighting men, they have full 70,000.
There's 5 to 1. Besides, they all are fresh.
God's arm strike with us. The odds is all too great. God be with you, princes all. If we no more meet till we meet in heaven, then joyfully, my noble Westmoreland, and my good Lord Exeter, and my kind kinsmen, warriors all, adieu.
Farewell, good Erpingham, and good luck go with thee.
Farewell, kind lord. Fight valiantly today. And yet I do thee wrong to mind thee of it, for thou art made on the true sparks of honour.
Oh, that we now had here but 1/10,000 of those men in England that do no work today.
What's he that wishes so? My cousin Westmoreland, no, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honour. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor care I who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not, if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honour, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my coz, wish not a man from England. Rather, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse, we would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly, on the vigil, feast his neighbours and say, tomorrow is St. Crispian. And then will he strip his sleeve and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgot, but he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. And then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford, and Exeter, Westmoreland, Erpingham, Salisbury, and Gloucester, be in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall ne'er go by from this day to the ending of the world. But we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day he shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England, now abed, shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap, whilst any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's day.
My sovereign lord, bestow yourself with speed. The French are bravely in the battle set, and will with all expedients charge on us.
All things are ready, if our minds be so.
Perish the man whose mind is backward now.
Thou dost not wish more help from England, coz.
God's will, my liege, would you and I, alone, without more help, could fight this royal battle.
Why, well said. You know your places. God be with you all.
Once more I come to know of thee, King Harry, if for thy ransom thou wilt now compound before thy most assured overthrow. Besides, in mercy, the constable desires thee thou wilt mind thy followers of repentance, that their souls may make a sweet and peaceful retire from off these fields where wretches their poor bodies must lie and fester.
Who hath sent thee now?
The Constable of France.
I pray thee, bear my former answer back. Bid them achieve me, and then sell my bones. Good God! Why should they mock poor fellows thus? The man that once did sell the lion's skin while the beast lived was killed with hunting him. And many of our bodies shall no doubt find native graves, upon the which I trust shall witness live in brass of this day's work. And those that leave their valiant bones in France, dying like men, though buried in your dunghills, they shall be famed, for there the sun shall greet them and draw their honours reeking up to heaven, leaving their earthly parts to choke your clime, the smell whereof shall breed a plague in France. Let me speak proudly. Tell the constable, we are but warriors for the working day. Our gayness and our guilt are all besmirched with rainy marching in the painful field. But by the mass, our hearts are in the trim. And my poor soldiers tell me yet ere night, they'll be in fresher robes, or they will pluck the gay new coats from over the French soldiers' heads and turn them out of service. If they do this, as it please God they shall, my ransom then shall soon be levied. Herald, save thou thy labour. Come thou no more for ransom. Gentle herald, they shall have none, I swear, but these, my bones.
I shall, King Harry, and so fare thee well. Thou never shalt hear herald any more.
Pray thou once more come for ransom.
My lord, most humbly on my knee, I beg the leading of the vanguard.
Take it. Brave York. Now, soldiers, march away. And how thou pleasest, God, dispose the day.
Aye.
Yield, cur!
Je pense que vous êtes une gentilhomme de bonne qualité.
Quotitier calmie, castor aimé!
Quoi?
Art thou a gentleman?
Quoi?
What is thy name? Discuss.
Oh, Seigneur Dieu!
Oh, Seigneur Dieu should be a gentleman. Perpend my words, oh, Seigneur Dieu, and mark.
Faudrait mes miséricordes. Aïe, aïe, pitié de moi.
Moi shall not serve. I will have 40 moi, or I will fetch thy rim out of thy throat in drops of crimson blood.
Pardonnez-moi.
Pardonnez-moi? Is that a ton of moi? Hey, come hither, boy. Ask me this slave in French. What is his name?
Écoutez, comment êtes-vous appelé?
Monsieur Lefebvre.
He says his name is Master Fur.
Master Fur! I'll fur him, and furk him, and ferret him. Discuss the same in French unto him.
But I do not know what's French for fur and ferret and fur.
Bid him prepare, or I will cut his throat.
Faites-vous prête? Il veut couper votre gorge.
Away! Coupez la gorge, Permafoy. Unless thou givest to me egregious ransom, thou diest. Crowns, brave crowns. Oh, mangle shall there be by this, these, my sword, sword.
Que dit-il, monsieur? Que dit-il?
Si vous ne lui donnez pas la grande rançon, il vous tuerait.
Je vous supplie, par le nom de Dieu, me pardonnez. Je suis un gentilhomme de bonne maison. Gardez ma vie et je vous donnerai de son égout.
What are his words?
He prays you to save his life. He is a gentleman of a good house, and for his ransom he will give you 200 crowns.
Tell him my fury shall abate, and I the crowns will take.
Pour le être que vous lui promettez, il est content à vous donner la liberté.
She-ha. As I suck blood, I will some mercy show. Follow me!
Suivez-vous le grand capitaine. I did never know so full a voice issue from so empty a heart. But the saying is true, the empty vessel makes the greatest sound. Bardolph and Nym had 10 times more valor than this roaring devil, and they're both hanged. And so would this be if he dare steal anything. I must stay with the lackeys, with the luggage of our camp. The French may have a good prey of us if you knew of it, for there is none to guard it but boys.
Oh, diable!
Oh, Seigneur, le jour a perdu. Tout a perdu.
Morte Marquis. All is confounded, all. Reproach and everlasting shame sits mocking in our plumes. Oh, méchant fautier. Do not run away!
Why, all our ranks are broke!
Oh, perdurable shame. Let's stab ourselves. Be these the wretches that we played at dice for?
Is this the king we sent to for his ransom?
Shame! An eternal shame! Nothing but shame! Let us die in honor, once more back again. And he that will not follow Bourbon now, let him go hence, and with his cap in hand like a base pander, hold the chamber door whilst by a slave, no gentler than my dog, his fairest daughter, is contaminated!
Disorder that has spoiled us, friend us now. Let us on heaps go offer up our lives.
We are now yet living in the field to smother up the English in our throngs, if any order might be thought upon.
The devil take order now. I'll to the throng. Let life be short, else shame will be too long.
Well, have we done? Right, valiant countrymen, but all's not done. Yet keep the French the field.
The Duke of York commends him to your majesty.
Thanks, good uncle. Thrice within this hour I saw him down, thrice up again and fighting. From helmet to the spur, all blood he was.
In which array, brave soldier, doth he lie? Larding the plain, and by his bloody side the noble Earl of Suffolk also lies. Suffolk first died, and York, all haggled over, comes to him, where in gore he lay ensteeped, and takes him by the beard, kisses the gashes that bloodily did spawn upon his face, and cries aloud, "Tarry, dear cousin Suffolk, my soul shall thine keep company to heaven. Tarry, sweet soul, for mine. Then fly abreast, as in this glorious and well-foughten field we kept together in our chivalry." Upon these words I came and cheered him up. He smiled me in the face, wrought me his hand, and with a feeble gripe says, "Dear my lord, commend my service to my sovereign." So did he turn, and over Suffolk's neck he threw his wounded arm and kissed his lips. And so, espoused to death with blood, he sealed a testament of noble ending love. The pretty and sweet manner of it forced those waters from me which I would have stopped, but I had not so much of man in me. And all my mother came into mine eyes and gave me up to tears.
Blame me not. For hearing you, I must convert to tears. But hark, what new alarm is this same? The French have reinforced their scattered men. Then, every soldier kill his prisoners! Give the word through!
Coupe la gorge! Coupe la gorge!
God's blood! Kill the boys and the luggage! 'Tis as arrant a piece of knavery, mark you now, as can be offered. In your conscience now, is it not?
'Tis certain there's not a boy left alive. And the cowardly rascals that ran from the battle themselves have done this slaughter. Besides, they burned and carried away all that was in the king's tent, wherefore the king, most worthily, hath caused every soldier to cut his prisoner's throat. 'Tis a gallant king.
Aye! He was born at Monmouth, Captain Gower. What call you the town's name where Alexander the Big was born?
Alexander the Great.
Why, I pray you, is not Big great? Alexander the Big, or the Great, or the Huge, or the Magnanimous. It is all one reckoning, save the phrase is a little variations.
I think Alexander the Great was born in Macedon. His father was called Philip of Macedon, as I take it.
I think it is in Macedon where Alexander is born. I tell you, Captain Gower, if you look in the maps of the world, I warrant you shall find, in the comparisons between Macedon and Monmouth, that the situations, look you, is both alike. there is a river in Macedon. And there is also, moreover, a river at Monmouth. It is called Wye at Monmouth, but it is out of my brains. What is the name of the other river? But 'tis all one, 'tis alike as my fingers is to my fingers. And there is salmons in both. If you mark Alexander's life well, Harry of Monmouth's life has come after it indifferent well, for there is figures in all things. Alexander, God knows, and you know, in his rages and his furies, and his wraths and his chollers and his moods and his displeasures and his indignations, and also being a little intoxicated in his brains, did, in his ales and his angers, look you, kill his best friend Clytus.
Our king is not like him in that. He never killed any of his friends.
It is not well done, mark you now, to take the tales out of my mouth ere it is made an end and finished. I speak but in the figures and comparisons of it. As Alexander killed his friend Clytus, being in his ales and his cups, so also Harry Monmouth, being in his right wits and his good judgments, turned away the fat knight with a great belly doublet. Well, he was full of jests and jibes and knaveries and mocks. I forgot his name.
Sir John Falstaff.
That is he! I'll tell you, there is good men born at Monmouth.
I was not angry since I came to France until this instant. Take a trumpet, herald. Ride unto the horsemen on yon hill. If they will fight with us, bid them come down! Avoid the field that do offend our sight! And besides, we'll cut the throats of those we have, and not a man of them that we shall take shall taste our mercy. Go and tell them so!
Here comes the herald of the French, my liege. Either humbler than they used to be.
Boswell, what means this, herald? Knowest thou not that I have fined these bones of mine for ransom? Comest thou again for ransom?
No, great king, I come to thee for charitable license, that we may wander o'er this bloody field to book our dead and then to bury them, to sort our nobles from our common men. For many of our princes, woe the while lie drowned and soaked in mercenary blood. So do our vulgar drench their peasant limbs in blood of princes. And their wounded steeds fret, fetlock deep in gore, and with wild rage jerk out their armored heels at their dead masters, killing them twice. Give us leave, great king, to view the field in safety and dispose of their dead bodies.
I tell thee truly, herald, I know not if the day be ours or no.
The day is yours.
Praised be God, and not our strength for it. What is this castle called that stands hard by?
They call it Agincourt.
Then call me this field of Agincourt, fought on the day of Crispianus.
Your grandfather of famous memory and please you majesty, and your great-uncle Edward, the Black Prince of Wales, as I've read in the chronicles, fought a most brave battle here in France.
They did flew well.
Yes, your majesty says very true. If your majesties is remembered of it, the Welshmen there did good service in a garden where leeks did grow. And I do believe your majesty takes no scorn to wear the leek in your cap upon St. Davy's Day.
No, I wear it for a memorable honour, for I am Welsh, you know, as well as you.
All the water in Wye cannot wash your majesty's Welsh blood out of your body. I can tell you that. God bless it and preserve it.
Thanks. Good my countrymen.
My Chishu, I am your majesty's countryman. I care not to know it. So long as your majesty is an honest man.
God keep me so. Our heralds, go with him. Bring me just notice of the numbers dead on both our parts. Call yon fellow hither.
Soldier! You must come to the king!
Soldier! Why dost thou wear that glove in thy cap?
And please your majesty, 'tis a rascals that swaggered with me last night, and he hath one of mine, which if ever I see, I've sworn to strike him. So he hath sworn the like to me.
Well, what think you? Captain Fluellen, is it fit this soldier keep his oath?
He is a craven and a villain else, and please your majesty, in my conscience.
His enemy may be a gentleman of worth.
And he be as good a gentleman as the devil is. As Lucifer and Beelzebub himself. 'Tis meet he keep his vow.
Well, then keep thy vow, sirrah, when thou meetest the fellow.
So I will, my liege, as I live.
Who serves thou under?
Under Captain Gower.
Oh, a Gower, good captain, good knowledge, literature in the wars.
Call him hither to me, soldier.
I will, my liege.
Captain Fluellen, when Alanson and myself were down together, I plucked this glove off from his helmet. Here, Fluellen, wear it. If any do challenge it, he is a friend of Alanson's and an enemy to me.
Your grace does me as great honours as can be desired in the hearts of his subjects. I would fain see the man that has but 2 legs that should challenge this glove. That is all. But I would fain see it once and please God of his grace. I would but see him, that is all.
Knowest thou Gower?
He is my dear friend, and please you.
Call him hither.
I will fetch him, your loveliness.
Follow Fluellen closely at the heels. The glove he wears, it was the soldier's. I, by bargain, should wear it myself. Let's follow and see there be no harm between them.
What is it is tonight, you captain?
God's will and his pleasure, captain. I beseech you now, come apace to the king. There is more good toward you than you can dream of.
Sir, know ye this glove?
I know the glove is a glove.
And I know this, and thus I challenge it.
What? Blood! An arrant traitor, as any is in the universal world, or in France, or in Aberystwyth.
And now, sir, you villain! Do you think I'll be forsworn?
Stand away, Captain Gower! I will give treason his payment into ploughs, I warrant you.
I'm no traitor.
That's a lie in thy throat. I charge you in his majesty's name. He's a friend of the Duke Alanson.
Hannah! Hannah, what's the matter?
My Lord Westmoreland, here is, praised be God for it, a most contagious treason come to light.
Hannah, what's the matter?
My liege! Here is the notablest piece of treason come to light, as you shall see in a summer's day. Here is a rascal, a beggarly rascal, has struck the glove which your majesty has take out of the helmet of Alanson.
My liege, this was my glove. Here is the fellow of it. He that I gave it to in the night promised me to wear it in his hat. I promised to strike him if he did. I met this man with my glove in his hat, and I've been as good as my word.
Your majesty, hear now what saving your majesty's manhood, what an arrant, rascally, beggarly, lousy knave it is!
Give me that glove. Soldier, look, here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I. Indeed, thou promisedst to strike, and thou hast given me most bitter terms.
Let his neck answer for it. If there be any martial law in the world...
How canst thou make me satisfaction?
My liege, all offences come from the heart. Never came any from mine that might offend your majesty.
It was ourself thou didst abuse.
But your majesty came not like yourself. You appeared to me as a common man. Witness the night, your garments, your lowliness, and what your hand has suffered under that shape. I beseech you take it for your own fault and not mine. For yourself came not like yourself. Had you been as you seemed, I had made no offence. Therefore I beseech your grace pardon me.
Here, Uncle Exeter, fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow. Wear it for an honour in thy cap till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns. And, Captain, you must needs be friends with him.
By this day and this light, the fellow has metal enough in his belly. Hold! There is 12 pence for you. And I pray you to serve God and keep you out of brawls and brabbles and quarrels and dissensions. And look you, it shall be the better for you.
I shall none of your money, sir, not I.
But why? 'Tis a good shilling, man. Why should you be so bashful? Your shoes is not so good. It'll serve you to mend your shoes.
Here is the number of the slaughtered French, my liege.
What prisoners of good sort are taken, Uncle?
Charles, Duke of Orleans, nephew to the king. John, Duke of Bourbon, Lord Boucicaut. Of other lords and barons, knights and squires, full 1,500, besides common men.
This note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain. Of princes in this number and nobles bearing banners, there lie dead 126. Added to these of knights, esquires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400. The names of those their nobles that lie dead: Charles de la Breath, High Constable of France; Jacques of Chatillon, Admiral of France; the Master of the Crossbows, Lord Rambours; and Edward, Duke of Bar; of lusty Earls Grandpré and Roussy, Fauconberg and Foix, Beaumont and Marle, Vaudemont and Lestrade. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where's the number of our English dead? Edward the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, Sir Richard Ketley, Davy Gam, Esquire, none else have named, and of all other men, 25. O God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone ascribe we all. When? Without stratagem, but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss on one part and on the other. Take it, God, for it is none but thine.
'Tis wonderful.
Now come, go we in procession to the village. And be it death proclaimed through our host to boast of this, or take the praise from God, which is his only.
Is it not lawful, and please your majesty, to tell how many is killed?
Yes, Captain, but with this acknowledgement, that God fought for us.
Oh, yes, my conscience. He did us great good.
And do we all holy rites, let there be sung non nobis and Te Deum, the dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais, and to England then, when there from France arrived more happy men.
Vouchsafe to those that have not read the story that I may prompt them, and of such as have, I humbly pray them to admit the excuse of time, of numbers, and due course of things, which cannot in their huge and proper life be here presented. Now we bear the king toward Calais. Grant him there seen, heave him away upon your winged thoughts athwart the sea. Behold, the English beach pales in the flood with men, with wives and boys, whose shouts and claps outvoice the deep-mouthed sea, which, like a mighty whiffler for the king, seems to prepare his way. So let him land, and solemnly see him set on to London. So swift a pace have thought, that even now you may imagine him upon Blackheath, where that his lords desire him to have borne his bruised helmet and his bended sword before him through the city. He forbids it, being free from vainness and self-glorious pride, giving full trophy, signal, and ostent, quite from himself to God. But now behold, in the quick forge and working house of thought, how London doth pour out her citizens. The mayor and all his brethren in best sort, like to the senators of the antique Rome, with the plebeians swarming at their heels, go forth and fetch their conquering Caesar in. Now in London place him. As yet, the lamentation of the French invites the King of England stay at home. The Emperor is coming in behalf of France to order peace between them. And the death of the Dauphin leap we over and omit all the occurrences, whatever chanced, till Harry's back return again to France. There must we bring him. And myself have played the interim by remembering you 'tis past. Then brook abridgment, and your eyes advance after your thoughts, straight back again to France.
But why wear you your leek today? St. Davy's Day is past.
There is occasions, Captain Gower, and causes, why and wherefore in all things. The other day, look you, Pistols which you and yourself and all the world know to be a man of no merits in the world, he is come to me and brings me bread and salt and bid me eat my leek. 'Twas in a place where I could not breed no contention with him. But I will be so bold as to wear it in my cap till I see him once again. And then I shall show him a little piece of my desires.
Well, here it comes, swelling like a turkey cock.
'Tis no matter for his swellings nor his turkey cocks. God bless you, ancient pistol, you scurvy, lousy knave. God bless you.
Ha! Ha! Art thou Bedlam? Dost thou thirst, base Trojan, to have me fold up Parker's fatal web? Ooh, hence! I'm qualmish at the smell of leek.
Ancient pistol, I would desire you, because it doth not agree with your stomach, and because your affections and your appetites and your digestions does not agree with it, I would desire you to eat this leek.
Not for Cadwallader and all his goats.
There is one goat for you. Will you be so good, scald knave, as eat it?
Base Trojan, thou shalt die.
Oh, I know I shall die. Meantime, I would desire you to live and eat this leek. Ooh. Ah! Come, there is sauce for it. I pray you, fall to. If you can mock a leek, you can eat a leek.
Oh, Captain, you've astonished him.
Astonished him? By Jesus, you will beat his head 4 days and 4 nights. But I'll make him eat some part of my leek.
Must I bite?
Yes, certainly. And out of doubt and out of question too. And ambiguities.
By this leek I will most horribly revenge. I eat, I swear.
Eat, I pray you. Will you have some more sauce to your leek?
I cudgel, now just see I eat.
Nay, pray you, throw none away. The skin is good for your broken coxcomb.
It's good. It's good.
Well, aye! Leeks is good! Old you, there is a groat to heal your pate.
Me a groat?
Yes, verily and in truth. You shall take it, or I've another leek in my pocket which you shall eat.
I take this groat in earnest of revenge.
If I owe you anything, I will pay you in cudgels. God be with you, ancient pistol. Oh, if you see leeks another time, mock at 'em, that is all. God be with you!
All hell shall stand. All hell shall stir for this.
Go, go. You are a counterfeit, cowardly knave. Will you mock at an ancient tradition and dare not to vouch in your deeds any of your words? I have seen you, gleeking and galling at this gentleman twice or thrice. Henceforth, let a Welsh correction teach you a good English condition. Fare you well. Oh.
Lot sick. Oh, pistol. Does fortune play the housewife with me now? News have I that my Nell is dead. And there my rendezvous is quite cut off. Old I do wax, and from my weary limbs honor is cudgelled. Well, bored I'll turn, and something lead a cutpurse of quick hand. To England will I steal, and there I'll steal. And patches will I get unto these cudgel scars, and swear I got them in the Gallia Wars.
To this meeting, wherefore we are met. Unto our brother France and to our sister, health and fair time of day. Joy and good wishes to our fair and most princely cousin Catherine, and as a branch and member of this royalty, by whom this great assembly is contrived, we do salute you, Duke of Burgundy, and princes French and peers, health to you all.
Right joyous are we to behold your face, most worthy brother England, fairly met. So are you, princes English, every one.
So happy be the issue, brother England, of this good day and of this gracious meeting, as we are now glad to behold your eyes, which hitherto have borne in them against the French that met them in their bent, the fatal balls of murdering basilisks. The venom of such looks we fairly hope have lost their quality, and that this day shall change all griefs and quarrels into love.
To cry amen to that. Thus we appear.
You English princes all, I do salute you.
My duty to you both on equal love, great kings of France and England, that I have laboured with all my wits, my pains, and strong endeavours to bring your most imperial majesties into this bar and royal interview, your mightiness on both parts best can witness. Since then my office hath so far prevailed, let it not disgrace me if I demand before this royal view what rub or what impediment there is. Why that the naked, poor, and mangled peace, dear nurse of arts and joyful births, should not in this best garden of the world, our fertile France, put up her lovely visage? Alas, she hath from France too long been chased, and all her husbandry doth lie on heaps, corrupting in its own fertility. Her vine, the merry cheerer of the heart, unpruned dies. Her hedges, even pleached, like prisoners wildly overgrown with hair, put forth disordered twigs. The even mead that erst brought sweetly forth the freckled cowslip, burnet, and green clover, wanting the scythe, all uncorrected, rank, conceives by idleness, and nothing teems but hateful docks, rough thistles, kexes, burrs, losing both beauty and utility. And as our vineyards, fallows, meads, and hedges, defective in their natures, grow to wildness, even so our houses and ourselves and children have lost or do not learn for want of time the sciences that should become our country, but grow like savages, as soldiers will that nothing do but meditate on blood, to swearing and stern looks, diffused attire, and everything that seems unnatural, which to reduce into our former favour you are assembled. And my speech entreats that I may know the let, why gentle peace should not expel these inconveniences, and bless us with her former qualities.
If, Duke of Burgundy, you would the peace which you have cited, you must buy that peace with full accord to all our just demands.
The king hath heard them, to the which as yet there is no answer made.
Well then, the peace which you before so urged lies in his answer.
I have but with a cursory eye o'erglanced the articles. Pleaseth your grace to appoint some of your council presently to sit with us once more with better heed,
to resurvey them.
So, Uncle Exeter, go, lords, and sit with them and bring us answer back. Fair sister, will you go with the princes or stay here with us?
Our gracious brother, I will go with them. Haply a woman's voice may do some good when articles too nicely urged be stood on.
Yes, leave our cousin Catherine here behind.
She hath good leave.
With all our hearts.
Fair Catherine. And, most fair. Will you vouchsafe to teach a soldier terms, such as will enter at a lady's ear and plead his love suit to her gentle heart?
Your Majesty shall mock at me. I cannot speak your England.
Fair Catherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I'll be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Pardonnez-moi, I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
Que dit-il? Que je suis semblable à les anges?
Oui, vraiment, sur votre grâce, on dit dit-il.
I said so, dear Catherine, and I must not blush to affirm it.
Oh, bon Dieu! Les langues des hommes sont pleines de tromperies.
Now, what says she, fair one? That the tongues of men are full of deceit.
Oui, that the tongues of the mans is be full of deceits. That is the princess.
Now, the princess is the better English woman. Faith, Kate, my wooing is fit for thy understanding. Oh, I'm glad thou canst speak no better English, for if thou couldst, thou wouldst find me such a plain king, thou wouldst think I'd sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say, I love you. And if you urge me farther than to say, oh, do you in faith, I'll wear out my suit. Give me your answer, if faith do, and so clap hands at a bargain. How say you, lady?
So votre honneur me understand well.
Mary, if you put me to verses or a dance for your sake, Kate, why you undid me. If I could win a lady at leapfrog, or by vaulting into my saddle with my armor on my back, under the correction of bragging be it spoken, I should quickly leap into a wife. I speak to thee, plain soldier. If thou canst love me for this, take me. If not, to say to thee that I shall die is true, but for thy love, by the Lord, no. And yet I love thee too. And while thou livest, dear Kate, take a fellow of plain and uncoined constancy. Dear Kate, a good leg will fall, a straight back will stoop, a black beard will turn white, a curled pate will grow bald, a fair face will wither, a full eye will wax hollow, but a good heart, Kate, is the sun and the moon, or rather the sun, and not the moon, for he shines bright and never changes, but keeps his course, truly. If thou wouldst have such a one, take me, and take me, take a soldier. Take a soldier, take a king! And what sayest thou then to my love? Speak, my fair. And fairly, I pray thee.
Is it possible that I should love the enemy of France?
No, it is not possible you should love the enemy of France, Kate, but by loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well, I will not part with a village of it. I will have it all mine. And, Kate, when France is mine, and I am yours, then yours is France. And you are mine.
I cannot tell what is that.
No, Kate, I will tell thee in French. Which I am sure will hang upon my tongue like a newly married wife about her husband's neck. Hardly to be shook off. Je. Quand j'ai la possession de France, et quand vous avez la possession de moi, what then? Let me see, St. Denis be my speed. Donc, votre France et vous êtes mien. It's as easy for me, Kate, to conquer the kingdom as it is to speak so much more French. I shall never move thee in French unless it be to laugh at me.
Sauf votre honneur, le français que vous parlez, il est meilleur que l'anglais lequel je parle.
No, Faith, is it? No, Kate. But thy speaking of my tongue, and I thine, most truly, falsely, must needs be granted to be much at one. But, Kate, dost thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Any of your neighbours tell Kate? I'll ask them. Come, I know thou loves me. And at night, when you come into your closet, you will question this gentlewoman about me. And I know, Kate, you will, to her, dispraise those parts in me that you love with your heart. But, Kate, shall not thou and I, between St. Denis and St. George, compound a boy, half French, half English, that shall go to Constantinople and take the Turk by the beard, shall we not? And what sayest thou then, my fair fleur-de-lis?
I do not know that.
No, 'tis hereafter to know, but now to promise. How answer you? La plus belle Catherine du monde, mon très cher et divin déesse.
Your Majesty avait fausse French enough to deceive the most sage demoiselle that is en France.
Fire upon my false French, by mine honour, in true English, Kate, I love thee. By which honour I dare not swear thou lovest me, although my blood begins to flatter me that thou dost, notwithstanding the poor and untempering effect of my visage. Now beshrew my father's ambition. He was thinking of civil wars when he got me, therefore am I created with a stubborn outside and an aspect of iron, that when I come to woo ladies, I fright them. But, Kate, the elder I wax, the better I shall appear. And therefore tell me, most fair Catherine, will you have me? Come, take me by the hand and say, Harry of England, I am thine. Which word thou shalt no sooner bless mine ear withal, but I shall tell thee aloud, England is thine, Ireland is thine, France is thine, and Harry Plantagenet is thine. Now come your answer, in broken music, for thy voice is music, Kate, and thy English broken. And therefore, Queen of all, Catherine, break thy mind to me in broken English. Wilt thou have me?
That is as it shall please the roi, mon père.
Nay, it shall please him, Kate. It shall please him well.
Then it shall also content me.
Upon that, I kiss your hand and call you my queen.
Laissez, monseigneur. Laissez, ma foi. Je ne veux point que vous vous abaissiez en baisant la main d'une de votre seigneurie indigne serviteur. Excusez-moi, je vous supplie, mon très puissant seigneur.
Then I shall kiss your lips, Kate.
Les dames et demoiselles, pour être baisées devant leurs noces, il n'est pas la coutume de France.
Madame Interpreter, what says she?
That it is not to be the fashion pour the ladies of France. I cannot tell what is baiser en anglais.
To kiss.
Your Majesty entendre better que moi.
Oh, it is not the fashion in France for ladies to kiss before they are married, would she say?
Oui, vraiment.
Okay. Nice customs curtsy to great kings. We are the makers of manners, Kate, and the liberty that follows our places stops the mouths of all fine faults, as I will do yours. And therefore, patiently and yielding. You have witchcraft in your lips, Kate. There's more eloquence in a sugar touch of them than in the tongues of the French council. And they should sooner persuade Harry of England than a general petition of monarchs. Here comes your father.
God save your Majesty. My royal cousin, teach you our princess English.
I would have her learn, my fair coz, how perfectly I love her, and that is good English.
Is she not apt?
My tongue is rough, cuz, and my condition is not smooth, so that I cannot so conjure up the spirit of love in her that he will appear in his true likeness.
If you would conjure in her, you must make a circle. If conjure up love in her in his true likeness, he must appear naked and blind.
And she must be blind too.
As love is, my lord, before it loves.
It is so. And you may, some of you, thank love for my blindness, who many a fair French city cannot see for one fair French maid that stands in my way.
Yes, my lord, you see them prospectively. The city is turned into a maid, for they're all girdled with maiden walls that war has never entered.
Shall Kate be my wife?
So please you.
I am content. So the maiden cities you talk of may wait on her, so that the maid that stood in the way for my wish may show me the way to my will.
We have consented to all terms of reason.
Is it so, my lords of England?
The king hath granted every article, his daughter first, and then in sequel, all according to their firm proposed nature.
Only he hath not yet subscribed this, where your majesty demands that the King of France, having any occasion to write for matter of grant, shall name your highness with this addition in French. Notre très cher fils Henri, roi d'Angleterre, héritier de France.
Nor this we have not, brother, so denied. But your request will make me let it pass.
Pray you then, in love and dear alliance, let that one article rank with the rest. And thereon, give me your daughter.
Take her, fair son, and from her blood raise up issue to me, that the contending kingdoms of France and England, whose very shores look pale with envy of each other's happiness, may cease their hatred, and this dear conjunction plant neighborhood and Christian-like accord in their sweet bosoms, that never war advance his bleeding sword twixt England and fair France.
Amen. Now welcome, Kate, and bear me witness all, that here I kiss her as my sovereign queen. Prepare we for our marriage, on which day my lord of Burgundy will take your oath, and all the peers, for surety of our leagues, and then shall I swear to Kate, and you to me, and may our oaths well kept and prosperous be.
God, the best maker of all marriages, combine your hearts in one, your realms in one. As man and wife being two are one in love, so be there twixt your kingdoms such a spousal that never may ill office or fell jealousy which troubles off the bed of blessed marriage, thrust in between the paction of these kingdoms to make divorce of their incorporate league, that English may, as French Englishmen receive each other. God speak this, amen.
Amen. The day of peace is drawing near at hand. Come serve the Lord and be at his command. And God a portion for you will